All right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Hot Pudge IG Live. I am your host, Pudge Fernandez. Let's get straight to our guest, because our guest is coming all the way from the left coast. Very special guest, performer, hot new young rising star in the comedy scene. Put your hands together for Miss Marsi Green. Miss Marsi Green.
Hi, guys.
What's
I'm
up?
in LA. I'm in LA.
Holy
Hey.
shit, you look great.
Hey, what's going on? I'm trying to get that in the back. And wait, let me just get you a real quick, some stars over here.
You're at the Walk of Fame.
All right, wait. We all got to hit the comedy, the Bugs Bunny. Can we see it?
Yo, that was my first teacher.
The
Bugs was
best
my
one.
first teacher.
A Bugs over Daffy every day.
Every day. Every afternoon.
Twice on Sunday, you know?
Yeah.
I got my Burt Crusher going.
Oh shit. You got damn. Well, so first of all, what are you doing out there?
I'm just visiting a friend for their birthday. I'll be back on Thursday because I do a weekly hosting now at a secret location in the city.
Okay.
Soon it won't be so secret when we're allowed back out, but yeah, I'll be back in time for that. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm hanging in there. New York, it was snowing today. I don't know if you saw that. Some flakes. Nothing major. Just some flakes.
That's okay. The last time I seen you was in person was in the beginning of the first round of the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Was that like June or something?
Was it? I don't remember.
Yeah.
I remember
Something like that.
I remember one of my last shows was with you before everything hit last February.
That is March 7th, which is right around the corner. That'll be 1 year since we had a show that was.
I did February. I did your February or something, or January, February.
March 7th was the last one. So maybe
Okay.
it was February that you were at. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember.
Right.
I remember.
Yeah.
Because right after that I got Bell's palsy, so I actually stopped performing before everybody else during the pandemic. So I was out.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, if you get the vaccine, you probably won't get that again then, right?
I don't know. I don't know what kind of vaccine it is. Maybe it'll do multiple things. Maybe it'll make my dick bigger. I don't know.
Oh.
I'm not waiting. I mean, I'm not rushing. Is what I'm trying to say. I'm kind of nervous because I want to see what happens to other people first. That's where I'm standing on that.
I agree with you. I mean, unless you're somebody who's vulnerable in such a way that you definitely would have a serious problem with dealing with COVID, then
Right.
I would just, for me, I was on December 19th. I was just cleared. I was asymptomatic. I had COVID the 9th through the 19th, and I didn't have any symptoms. I went 3 times to get tested. I did 2 rapid and the one that takes a
Right.
couple of days, and all of them positive, and my vanity wouldn't let me admit that I had COVID, but I didn't have any symptoms.
Wow. So all right. So you tested positive twice, 3 times. 3 times. Well, you're like, no, it's not me. No, it's not me.
Yeah,
it's not me.
Maybe you, but not
It's
me.
not, no, it's not me.
Maybe everybody else, but
And
no,
you were
it's-
and you were asymptomatic. How awesome was that? So do you know where you caught it, or how you caught it?
I want to say that I do. I want to place the blame on somebody, but somebody touched the computer that I touched, and they had COVID. They knowingly had COVID, but they were somebody who wasn't very well informed. They thought that if they weren't around other people, they couldn't transmit the disease, and they indeed touched the register that I touched, and the no sale to open a register, I believe it was surfaced from a computer. Because they thought they were safe when no one's around. So just use your hand sanitizer often and whatnot, because you can catch it off of surfaces. And I'm actually pushing this pile of jizz off right now.
That's all. You know what? That was pretty detailed. It sounds like and I haven't heard anybody give such a detailed description of where they possibly caught it. And that's a good story to share, because this was a button on a register, on a no sale, on a computer, on a register.
Somebody above me at my job did that to a couple of computers when no one was there, and a couple of people who they touched their computers, we all got 2 or 3 of us got sick. And that was for me to trace back. It's somebody was here who had COVID and touched things and didn't tell anybody. Awesome. Thanks a lot. But I don't think they knew that they could transmit it that way.
So this person was above you, I'm guessing, like a boss. So running a business, but they weren't thinking They weren't thinking. Did you get flowers, chocolate?
No, you know what? No, none of that. I don't think they wanted to admit that that was what happened. But sometimes people make innocent mistakes, you know, and it's that simple. But I'm okay, and I'm hoping that you can't get COVID for a while. But the nurse said that I could walk right out and get it again. So
Really?
Yeah, they said the antibodies don't do anything. And I know a comedian, which I'm not going to name, her boyfriend got COVID Thanksgiving and then New Year's. So
Twice?
I know somebody who got it twice within 3 months. So be careful, everybody. Dead serious. I didn't mean to say the dead part, actually.
No,
but
no, you're a comedian. It's okay. You can get away with it. Holy shit. So you got it. You were asymptomatic. Didn't feel a thing. You coasted. And you can get it again. And you know someone who did get it again. That's fucking wild.
I mean, the wild part is like, just because I'm asymptomatic, you know, I still got to stay home. So I don't want to get anybody who's not sick. So
Right.
I mean, in a year from now, maybe I would entertain the vaccine because I don't want to have to keep staying home to save everyone else, which I will continue to do. I would never put people in harm's way. I think some people don't give a F.
Yeah.
But I stayed home. The only place I went was to the doctor 3 times.
What'd you do for those 2-3 weeks?
I read the book that you told me to read a year before that.
The Comedy Bible? You read the Comedy Bible?
That was my big accomplishment, Pudge,
okay.
let me tell you. Because you had told me, and my biggest piece of information that I got from that it was like a little bit too late, was she had suggested that you never drink before you go on, and I think I've never not drank.
Oh,
before
wow.
I went on, I was like, I don't do that.
No, we all make that mistake. I made that mistake a few. Not that I didn't drink, but I got shit-faced, and I actually recorded myself. Thank God it was an open mic, so it wasn't a big deal. It was nothing. But I saw what alcohol did to me, and I was like, nah, fuck that shit. And it's also bad. It's bad because if you get used to it, it's going to be a crutch. What if you get on a Tonight Show or something? What are you going to say? You're going to get fucked up before you go on because that's what you do? You know, it's not a good habit. But see, we learn. That's all.
There was one time in the summertime when all the comedians, they were doing like rooftops and backyards. And so it was on a roof. Long story short, sometimes you know how the mics, maybe they take a couple hours to get to your name, and maybe you didn't realize you were going to be waiting so long for your turn.
Right.
So it was one of those, and I was drinking the whole time. And by the time it was like 2.5, 3, a couple of big headliners came and I kept getting skipped, you know, which is fine.
You got bumped. You got bumped.
But all that time, I was wearing a hat like this, and I'm going to blame it on my peripheral, but I fell off the roof like in front of 20 comics. So I fell for comedy.
You fell off the roof?
Well, the area that they had, it was on the roof, so I fell. Yeah.
Okay.
And like I was recording it, and I disappeared out of my camera.
All right, so lesson learned. Check that box. No alcohol before going on stage. Afterwards, you can celebrate.
Celebratory, yes. So
yeah.
How are things with you going?
No comedy. I mean, the weather pretty much, whatever we had outdoors, the rooftops, the parks, and all the outdoor places, the winter killed it. So basically, I've been doing what I've been doing since day one, and then just focusing on my media, content creation, got my YouTube, got my website, rolling this into a podcast, hopefully by the spring, and just and staying busy like that.
That reminds me, I don't know if you're interested. I don't know how anti-COVID that you are, but I am doing on Thursdays. That's why I'm returning. It's streaming. There's comedians are there, maybe 5 to 7 of them at a time, but it's in an auditorium and we stream it. So I only host. I don't produce. It's at Mic'd Up NYC, but they do give me a few slots a week. Okay. Out of like 15. I get like 2 or 3. So I would love to have you on a Thursday if you're ever available. You let me know.
Wow. You know what? It's like I'm kind of I turned myself off once like after around Thanksgiving. I'm like, you know what? Because it became so sporadic. Because I got tired of getting on stage, feeling great, getting that high, and then it's like, where's the next turn? Where's
It's
the
like
next?
the dealer turned off the phone, right?
It's like and I was like, you know what? I'm just doing this one show. I don't feel like I'm getting something out of it other than, hey, that quick fix is like a heroin fix, and I'm getting
And then you can't find the dealer anymore.
no, it's yeah, exactly. And sometimes I went to a show feeling miserable, or I didn't have new material, or I wasn't ready, or I didn't have this. But then I went on stage and it was just, oh shit, and it all came back, and I had fun. I did crowd work, but then you get off and it's like, now what? So
It
I'm
is
just
so
writing.
sporadic. You're right. Sometimes you're on and sometimes you're not because there's no consistency.
Yeah, and I was getting upset, and I was like, you know what? Let me just take a decision to just shut down. In my mind, March. Just let me focus on everything else. I mean, I'm still a comic. I'm still writing.
You're still doing the Hot Pudge Sunday.
Hot
and all
Pudge
that
IG.
stuff, right?
Yeah, I'm still in this, so I'm still being creative, and in many other ways. And I know when the weather comes back, I think the outdoors will come back, and there'll be a little bit more consistency. Where okay, once a week, give me once a week or something, twice a week or something. So I look forward to that. Right now, and also with the COVID again. I mean, it's like every week.
It's so scary times. They just opened up in LA today. They didn't even have outdoors, so they're first letting them have outside now.
It's like every week there's a story. I mean, in New York City, we lost a comedian who passed away, Kenny Ortega.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, he passed away now over November, late November. And then just recently, Dave Chappelle tested positive. And that kind of like, yo, Dave.
You can't lose the goat.
He's got money. Because he has money, he has flexibility and power to do everything right. I mean, he tested every week. He's got probably all the vitamins. He's got the outdoors. He's got everybody around him tested. He's got everything on lockdown and he still got it. And
it only takes one touch of something, and the doctors say that if you come in contact with COVID, you don't test positive right away. So somebody could get COVID on your team, and they may have it, but they're not going to test positive for 3 days, and you can catch it within that grace period. That person is not. No one feels symptoms right away.
Right,
no one tests positive right away. So there is like a window of like, that's why so many people. Sebastian, the Italian guy, that comedian, him and his wife have met.
Maniscalco.
Now, him and his wife have been like 175 days quarantining.
Yeah.
I mean, if your property is like the size of a small town somewhere, then why not? You have a nicer gym than I'm going to, and the gyms are all outdoor here. The weather's a little bit better, so they can like keep functioning with certain things, but they don't. They're not even doing outdoor dining, and it's warm enough to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I got
That's
invited
across the country.
I mean, I got invited to a show already, but I kind of nixed it because it's just like, I'm like, if Dave can catch it, and I'm being scared, we don't go anywhere. I'm basically from my house. I did.
Yeah, and then you have your wife. You have your wife. You don't get her sick. You go touch a mic the wrong way.
Exactly. And I was working out. I was doing laps in the park. But once the winter got cold, I'm in the gym. But I'm constantly wiping shit down in the gym and cleaning my hands. But I just don't feel like taking a risk. Maybe March. Once we're outdoors, I'll feel a little bit better about that.
Okay, so March 9th is my birthday, and I had this also in agreement with you, like trying to manifest. I'm going to be the big 3-5, and I'm hoping for 3 to 5 indoor shows for March. So I hope so. We'll see, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you remember. That's my birthday week too. I'm on the 7th.
Okay, so let's hope for.
Let's see.
For a handful of shows that March.
Let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's see. I'm not. You know what? I'm just gonna keep like that open mind, because I made predictions last spring, and I was totally wrong. Like everybody else, I thought, September will be fine. October will be back at the clubs. No, so I'm keeping it.
Nothing.
I'll keep an open mind. But yes, I'm hoping for March. So let's have a happy birthday together. Maybe we can share the stage.
Yes, that would be great. That would be great. There'll still be masks in play, unfortunately. I am looking forward to. When do you predict that we won't need to have masks in public? I just, oh my God, I don't even. Another year more with that? I don't even know.
I spoke to somebody who knows somebody in NYU Langone. You know how, in the major hospital.
What do the dorks say?
2022, 2023,
another year at
2023,
least.
100% normal to what we're used to. 2023, maybe
Okay.
2022, but it's going to be
Okay.
like this for a while. So
I would say another year at least. I don't know if this is just me, but I've been having like I have to go see a dermatologist now. My skin has tapped out for the whole mask situation. I constantly order different masks to try. I break out all over here, and thank goodness women can wear makeup, but I don't want to constantly wear makeup. I don't wear makeup at the gym, and there's some that have copper woven into it, and there's some that have silver woven into it, and
wow.
it's supposed to protect. Well, I'm like, I guess I start getting sweaty, and I smell like pennies in my mask now. But it's supposed to protect you.
When I started going to the gym, I'm like, this is not a mask. It's a sweat collector. Because after I get off an hour in the lift, it's just collecting sweat. And I was actually looking up some masks for the gym, but then it's like,
You
who'd
gotta
ever
get like
thought?
an Arm and Hammer or something
Yeah,
like that.
who'd
or
ever
like a
thought? I'm
Nike.
looking up for masks, and there's like 1,000 masks online with
Oh
the
my
filter,
God,
without the
right?
filter. I'm like, I said, forget it. I'll just keep the mask I have because it got too fucking technical and shit. But yeah,
Yeah.
we're in another world. Where it is what it is, and it's hurting our comedy. And I feel for you. I mean, so tell everybody, how long have you been? Because you're practically pretty new. You're new.
I'm like over a year. I'm like a year and 8 months now. I'm getting there. This whole year flew by so fast,
A
right?
year and 8 months in comedy.
Yeah, yeah. But I never stopped though.
No,
I went through the whole. I figured it out. I try to get by, and that's my biggest accomplishment so far for this year is I got the weekly show. It's somewhere in the city, and I'm hosting, so at least I get to practice once a week now.
good,
And
good.
that's
So a year and 8 months, probably you picked the wrong time to start. But
yeah. Well, I love the challenge. It was
no,
bad,
it is a challenge. And if anything, it'll make you stronger. When did you know that you wanted to be a comedian? Was it something new or something that's inside of you or what?
I think it's kind of disappointing that it took me this long to figure out what avenue of entertainment that I wanted to be in, because I was a performing arts major in high school. I went to Talent Unlimited, and maybe like a year before I got into stand up, I had gone to one of those things that pop up on Facebook and things for like I forget the name of it, but it was they try to get you to do print work or extra work or whatever.
Right.
And I had the conversation with the lady. She's like, "What do you want to get out of this?" And it was kind of like, "I would like to be on a sitcom." And it was just like, she's like, "Well, we don't really do that here." And then it was another year before I had figured out that. And I'm like, I've always been so into stand-up specials, and I've always been into acting and things like that. I'm like, and I've always been quick, funny, timing, witty, because New Yorkers always kind of have that anyway.
Oh yeah, we're edgy. We're quick with yeah, for sure.
And I got made fun of a lot, so you got to be able to give it back if you're not going to get punked out. But
who would make fun of you?
Oh, a lot of people growing up in College Point. I don't really speak to any of those scumbags anymore.
Okay.
But it just dawned on me one day, drunk and high and whatever, and I ordered a book.
Drunk and high. Yeah, that's how every good story starts. I was drunk and high.
I ordered a book that I must have been blackout drunk, and like I don't read that often. You know that about me. I never read this book that I bought either from yours. I read, and I went home a couple of days later, and I forgot. And there was a book in front of my house, and I'm like, I opened it up, and it was a comedy book, and I was sober when I found the book, and I'm like, not a bad idea. So that was kind of like how it was like sometimes you don't agree with your drunk self when you're sober, and we kind of just had a meeting of the minds, the two of us, and it was like, that was a decent purchase. So, and the rest is history.
So
I did my first show out here in November, and then they closed everything here in November.
Right. When did you pop your cherry? Your first time on stage?
It was June of last year.
Where?
Beauty bar.
Oh, okay. Was it open mic?
It was an open mic. I did like $5 3 minutes, or $5 5 minutes, something like that.
Yeah, I remember Beauty bar.
Oh no, actually that was in October. My friend Steven, I don't know if you're Steven Pantolinas, you've met him at my shows. Before that, it was actually Creek and Cave.
Okay, the Creek.
He kept telling me to go buy a drink, and I'm like, shouldn't I not do that? Isn't that rude to get up in somebody's set? Like, no, don't worry about it. So he tricked me into getting a drink, and when I came back, they called my name. That was really the first time. Beauty bar, I did that on purpose. Somebody threw me on stage when I didn't know, and I did okay. I got up. I'm like, all right, I am brave soul, so I didn't
So
really have much
so the
to
first
say.
time you were tricked. You were tricked into going on stage?
I know in Creek and Cave, they didn't make it through the pandemic.
Yeah, they shut down. We lost 2 clubs, Dangerfields, the Creek, and there's a rumor about a 3rd club closing down. So yeah, they're falling. They're falling.
Who knew? I'm glad I got the opportunity because that's a Queens one, and I'm a Queens gal. So
Yeah.
my cherry pop was Queens. So,
All right. All right. Now, what have you learned in your year and 8 months of comedy? Like what have you gone through? What experiences? Like I'm just because I've been in it 15 years, and I remember my first year. It was I'm like I mean I didn't even know how the open mics worked. I took it too seriously. I was in the open mic, I was in the open mic circuit doing about 25, 30 mics a month, and I took it too seriously without realizing that everybody in the room is a comedian. I mean, I did know that, but I didn't take, to take personal that they weren't laughing. I didn't understand that. No, they're not there for me. They're there for themselves.
yeah, that's a
So,
huge. I agree with you with that. I definitely learned the difference between a mic and a show.
yes.
Shows people are fans or people who are there to laugh, and mics
Right.
are there for people who are there to practice. And you can't take that too seriously.
No.
Because they're working on their own stuff.
Right.
And not opposed to you.
Yeah.
And I think that the best part of this for me is I wouldn't say that I'm antisocial, but I don't really put myself in a lot of social situations. And this kind of forced me to be more social with people because it's like kind of like a necessity to network.
Yes, it
and,
is. Yes.
Also, not to be an asshole. Not to say that I'm an asshole, but like I feel like it made me better with people skills because you can't be a certain way to move in a room with the people when you're new. Also, I couldn't be my 100% myself, and I think it made me a better person, a little bit more lighthearted, and
It does
a little
change
bit more understanding because I learned about pronouns and how big of a deal it is now too doing mics. Like I didn't even understand the first time someone was like referred to as a her or a they or I'm like, oh shit, this is real life. And I think I was in my own bubble in Bayside that we don't really.
Yeah, I mean, that reminds me, speaking of pronouns, there's a lot of people who ask about becoming comedians, and some people may have not gone, they may have dropped out of high school or dropped out of college, and they think, oh, well, this is another avenue. I don't have to deal with school. And I tell people, absolutely not.
It's hard.
You become a comedian.
Yeah.
You become a comedian, you will be, it's an English lesson. It's a history lesson. It's hard. You will have to deal with math. You will have to deal with science because writing a joke is a science. It's a science.
Yeah,
it's time.
A formula.
It's physical education.
You tried to explain to me, and there was no way you could have explained that to me without me figuring it out for myself. I remember you were trying, and like a lot. I tell you as I realized that you're right. Like you were right about this. You were right about that.
You were reading the book, and it connected.
Yeah, it's like you really, but just you gotta learn things firsthand. And there are a lot of funny people, and I know a lot of funny people. And you ever notice? I get all the time people give me premises or their jokes, and it's just like it's not really
right.
You don't just necessarily because you're funny doesn't mean that transcends into comedy. Right. Anybody could be funny, but can you formulate it in timing and structure it that it sounds natural at the drop of a hat?
Look at you! Oh, look at your teacher, and that's another thing. In the beginning, you're a pure student, but then you're a student with your peers, and then you're also you become a teacher yourself. So
it's crazy. Yeah.
So right now you're speaking like a very mature 1.5-year-old comedian. So if you meet a new jack, you'll be giving that person advice.
Which I have, and it's so weird because I have a little clout because I do shows and like people hit me up. Like I even have like a doctor friend who's a comedian, and it's like all kinds of like, can you help me out with this? Can you tell me if you think this is funny? And or can you put me on a show? And it's like it's also satisfying, and I'm so happy that I decided to not let all of what's going on in the world deter me from continuing to pursue it.
Yeah, no, it's a life decision. Comedy, it's a life decision, and that's what some people don't realize. I have issues within my family who don't understand. Very blue collar, union, healthcare, retire after 20 years. I'm like, nah, that's not the arts. That's not comedy. It's a whole different animal. And
it's a commitment.
And you got to be all in.
That's
Like
a commitment.
there's
It
no
is a serious
retirement.
commitment.
There's no
And it's
retirement.
hard. It's hard work. No one really makes it overnight. So,
No,
and
no,
probably most never do. But it definitely you won't know that for a while. You gotta commit to it. You gotta
no,
do your
no.
best.
We got to put the work in, and you're doing and
Yeah.
you read the book.
Finally.
No, but I so pushed that book on people
It was a good
because
book. And they made me
because
sign a contract in the book committed
right,
to
but it was a fun
it.
read because there's cartoons and there's
It was awesome.
stories and real life big time comedians that are in the book as well telling their stories. But the biggest thing was the formula, which is
Oh
what I was
yeah.
trying to tell you, because in the beginning I didn't know how to write a joke. I would be a
Uh-huh.
rambling essay on stage.
It's
And
not
then when
storytelling. It's not monologues. It's not what it
right,
is. Not
right,
improv in that way. It's more of a structure. Improv is improv, and people don't understand that too. The difference.
yeah, they
It's
just
not a
love
funny
us.
story. It
Right.
could be a funny story, but you have to have jokes within the story that are structured.
Yeah, there's storytelling comedians like Big J.
But they're
Okerson.
telling jokes. They're doing
Right.
it,
That
though,
yes,
down the
there is.
line.
That's another science.
It's structured. Yeah,
Yes.
it's hard. That's even harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and you guys, if anybody's interested in comedy or thinking that they can do it, anybody can at least be better than what they are now. You might not everybody got it, but I'm sure you can learn how to tell a joke that Judy Carter, the comedy Bible, and it was really cool. So the 4 words, what was it? Things are weird, scary, hard, or something else. But that's how you start off the joke,
It's emotions.
Yeah.
Use your emotions, and that's what I tell everybody. Don't
Like it's hard being a mom or whatever. That's
right.
how it kind of has to. You don't have to say it, but you have to imply it.
Yeah, use emotions and don't like I tell everybody. Don't talk about what you like, what you think could be funny. Like oh look, it's the president. I'm gonna make fun of that. Oh look, I saw this. I'm gonna make fun of that. It's more
Organic.
Organic. What you love,
Yeah.
what you hate, what you despise, what you can't get enough. That has to be an emotion attached.
Yeah, that's kind of like where the acting comes in for me. That I think it helps because I have roots from that. Is because you have to believe it in order for it to be a good performance, and that goes for comedy too. That's how what they taught you. You have to believe it for other people to believe you. So if no one's gonna think it's funny if it's not organic.
Yeah, and it takes time.
I'm not there, but I'm trying.
And I know. I mean, me too. 15 years. I'm way better at it. I'm proud to say, but it's all I haven't found my voice. That's what we all talk about: our voice, our natural voice, who we really are.
Yeah.
Because it's for anybody, it's fucking hard. Because on the one hand, we have to be funny. We have to learn the science of writing a joke and how to deliver it and how to get the timing, and we can learn that. Then
how do you learn how to make it natural?
But is it you?
That's what comes with time.
I mean, look at Louis C.K. Louis C.K. was a full-time headlining comedian for over 20 years, and he was on TV, but he really wasn't out there. He wasn't really over, not like he is now. He basically at one point, and this happens to a lot of comedians, George Carlin, Richard Pryor, again, Louis C.K., well, they just dump everything and just find themselves.
What do you have left to give even after a certain point too?
Yeah.
What is your identity after you've given the people your identity already?
Yeah. That's what we're looking.
Cool though. You find your fan base and hopefully they grow with you and understand you better that way.
Yeah.
It's a very vulnerable thing if you're going to be good at it too, which I'm trying to work up to more personal jokes, because poking fun at yourself is definitely not easy in the beginning. None of my jokes had to do what to do with me in my first 6 months.
Integrity.
I don't really want to go there. Yeah.
That's comedy. Integrity is a big thing, and integrity meaning, yeah, we're all observational and we could poke fun of anything and everything, but
about yourself.
But yourself, you want to do that first, because otherwise you look like a douchebag.
Yeah, you gotta loosen up the
obnoxious.
room.
Yeah, if you're just gonna point at everybody, you
like,
might
be.
Yeah, there's a lot of comedians. There's a lot of comedians who are funny who do that. They just point out everything, but you become more personal, likable, and when you also point at yourself, that makes you more human. It
also makes it easier to make fun of someone else after that, because their guards are kind of down.
That's part of the science.
She just cracked on herself, so
that's part of the science, and what you need to learn, or you're learning, is Yes,
You
yes.
watch people walking by.
Like a lot of comedians, oh, I did an abortion joke. How come it's funny? How come it didn't work? Oh, I said a racial joke. How come it didn't work? I'm like, you just can't go on stage and blurt it out in a 10-minute set. You have to earn their trust. So you got to be careful with those jokes. There's a placement. There's a timing and a place. You don't open up with an abortion joke.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, and also depending, you got to know your crowd, like a DJ too. Like you might not want to not use that one at all, depending on where you are.
So many nuances, so many
Gosh.
little details. You got to open up to yourself.
Details inside details. It's like an atommanship.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and people don't realize, and that's part of the learning. You're coming along very nicely.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just got to hit the stage, keep writing, keep going.
But fortunately for me, like I hope knock on wood, it's hollow in there. That I keep this weekly gig, and that'll at least once a week I'll have somewhere to practice.
It's a start.
That's all I can ask for right now.
Yeah, no, we just take what we get. Just keep writing. Get the science down. Get the structure. Keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Can I ask you something? I'm so sorry. Only because the person I'm supposed to make a reservation. How long is this interview thing going to be for?
As long as you want. There's no time limit. There's no time limit.
Oh, okay. So is this good? Half hour now, because I want to call and make a reservation for food for somebody's dinner.
No problem. You're in LA. We'll do it again.
Okay. I had so much fun. Is there anything else that we should talk about before I go?
No. Wait. Where can everyone catch you, see you, find you, follow you? You got to shout that out. Promo.
Sure.
Promo. Plug.
Catch me at my Instagram. My carry is Marsi's, Marsis. Got jokes. Marsi's got jokes. And the Instagram is the same as the Twitter. And you can find all of the information that you need besides that on my actual Instagram in the profile in the bio.
Now, real quick, you're a bartender. You're a bartender. So if they want to visit you and have a drink and talk shop.
And also, when we are reopened indoors, we do the monthly show there. I do a monthly comedy show at Hatfield. That's 4005 Bell Boulevard.
Bell Boulevard.
Kind of cold out, but I actually am still there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I dressed warm.
All right, so follow Marsi on Instagram, Facebook, and she's at Hatfields on Bell Boulevard every weekend. Come say hello, have a drink, have a coffee, have a buffalo wing, and talk shop.
Can I just thank you so much for having me, Pudge, and thank you so much for being such an influence in my baby comedy career as far as it's come so far. I appreciate you.
That's why they call me Uncle Pudge, because I always take care of my little nieces and my nephews. You're my niece. You're officially my comedy niece.
Good old Uncle Pudge. Thank you so much, and I'll always call you for advice. So
all right, be good. Let me holler when you get back.
Thank you.
Be
Bye
good.
from LA, everybody.
Be safe. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Marsi Green, the one and only from LA, Hollywood. Did you see she was on the Walk of Fame? Definitely got to go out there. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Thank you, one, for checking in. If you got on late, you can go to my YouTube channel this weekend. This episode will be up on Hot Pudge Sunday. Hot Pudge Sunday is my YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, Pudge Fernandez, and we got a lot of great interviews coming up. We got more comedians. I got somebody from the fire department. I got somebody from the music industry. I got a teacher. I'm sprouting. I got more veterans coming. I'm just sprouting. I'm growing. I'm going in all different directions. So keep following. Thank you very much. And hey, man, be safe.